Okay, so let's take it from where we got to. We're going to take it from the line segment to, and then it has four other tools under it, which is the arc tool, the spiral tool, the rectangle grid tool, and then the polar grid tool. Yeah. So with this line tool, line segment tool, you click it, and then you can click and then drag to draw my line. I click and drag to draw my line. If I want a straight horizontal line and I click and drag, I hold on the shift key to get a straight horizontal line. Right? Or I click and drag down, holding on my shift key to get a straight vertical line. Right? Or for a diagonal line also, I hold on the shift key and then I drag sideways to get that. Right. So I have this. Now this, I can see that the color is black. When I check here, this is for the stroke or the outline color, which is showing me the black here. The fill here has no color. That's why you see that red diagonal line in there. So with the stroke color, I can double click here to change the color. Or it's right here also. So I click here and I can change the color from here. And then this is the size also right here. I can increase the size of the stroke. Okay. And when I come here, click on stroke. Right. Yes, so I have this, the cap option. So this is the bat cap, right? And then this is for the round cap. So when I click on the round cap, you see what happens in here. The end is round, the ends, both ends. If I go for the bat cap, we see it right here, right? What's happening in here. And if I go for the round cap, you see what's happening right here. And then we have this also, that's the projecting cap. So this moves it a little bit away from the end path or from the end point. So this is where it ends, right? But the projected cap projects it away from where it ends. If I go for the bat cap, it ends exactly right there. But if I go for the projected cap, it projects it away from it. Okay. So with the corners also, right? With the corners, now with these corners, I'll use the pen tool for that. I click, 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 then escape to end it. I have this selected. I go here for the stroke, right? And then the corners, I have the metal join, right? If I go for the round join, we see what happens right here. So I go for this one, right? And then the round join brings us this. And then this also comes with a different thing. Okay. So we have dashed lines. So we can go with dashed lines. Okay. Can give arrows to the end. Okay. The dashed line, there is the gap, so I can increase the gap by 10. It's not happening in here. Okay, so let me go there again. 20. Okay, so it's happening. Okay. So I go there again. Then this time around I go for 40, then enter. Okay, so you see the dashed lines happening in here. Right. Okay, so let's move on with the other tools in here. we have the arc tool. This is also for drawing arcs. So I click and drag and I draw my arc. Right. So holding on my shift key, it draws it smoothly for me. Right. Holding on my shift key, draws it smoothly for me. When I release the shift key, this is what happens. But holding on the shift key, draws it smoothly for me right here. The next one in there, that's the spiral tool. That's also for drawing a spiral shape, right, in outline. Okay. So with that, I have my spiral shape right here. If I go there again, I have the rectangular grid tool, which looks like a table. Okay. So with the size, I can decrease the size. Can decrease the size of the stroke from here. I select it. From here, I decrease the size of the stroke. I can change the color. Right? So it works for all. And clear these ones. And the last two in there, that is the polar grid tool. So hold down my shift, I get a perfect shape right here. So with this also, like if I want to move individual objects or shapes within this, like I can right click and then go to ungroup because everything here is grouped. Once I go for ungroup, I can select this and then move it away. Right? And select this and then move this one away. When this one also is grouped, so I can go on and then ungroup this one also. I can select the individual circles. And the same applies to the rectangular grid tool also. Right. So I draw it, go for my selection tool, select it, I right click, and then I can ungroup it. I select individual lines and then move them away. Okay. Right. So let's move on to the rectangle tool. So with the rectangle tool, once you right click, right, and then starting from the very first lesson, I said that once you see this small arrow right here, that means there are some tools hidden under it. So once I right click in here, I have the tools in here. I have the rectangle tool, the rectangle, the rounded rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, the polygon tool, the star tool, and then the flare tool. So I go with the rectangle tool for now. So once I draw, I have my stroke color to be blue, and then I have no fill color in here. So that means in here is transparent. If I want to give it a color, I can double click here and then change the color from here. Or I come right here, I can change the color from here. I can give it any color. I can choose to go with the gradient. So with the color, we have this for the color, right? That is for the fill inside. We have this for gradient, and then this, when I click this, it means no color. So this is for color, and then this is for gradient. Okay, so we are seeing some small circles in here. Now with these circles, can click, then drag to round the corners. So I click any one of these ones, these circles, small circles, and I drag to round the corners. Now if I want to round just one part of it, now once I click once, you see that this is different from the other ones, which means that only this is selected, only this is active. So when I click, it will round only that corner for me. So with the rectangle tool, right, if I'm using it and then I want to draw a perfect square, right, perfect square. Once I drag, look at it. But if I hold on my shift key, it gives me a perfect square, which means that all the four sides are equal. And the same applies to the other tools also in there. That is the rectangle, the rounded rectangle tool, and then the ellipse tool. So the next one is the rounded rectangle tool. So I go with this, and then once I click and draw, the angles are rounded already. That's why we call it the rounded rectangle tool. So this also has these ones in here, which I can click and then round the corners more. Okay. The next one in there, that is the ellipse tool, right? For drawing ellipse shapes or round shapes or oval shapes. So I can draw my ellipse shape right here. And if you want to draw a perfect circle also, as we said earlier, you draw once you drag, like you hold on the mouse as you drag, and then you hold on your shift key, and it gives you a perfect circle. Okay, the next one there, that is the polygon tool. Now with the polygon tool, once I click, and then I draw. Now, once drawing, I can hold on my spacebar and then move it whilst I'm drawing. So you want to release your hand from the click or from the mouse. So you hold on the spacebar and you can move it around. Now with the polygon tool, whilst I'm drawing and I want to increase or decrease the size, right? I use my control keys on my keyboard. So control key up to increase the size, or the control key down to decrease the size. So I can decrease up to 3, and if I want to increase, I use my control keys up on my keyboard to do that. Okay, so I have this. So the next one I'll draw will have same sides of this one, because it remembers the very last thing that you did. The next one in here, the next one here is the star tool. The star tool. So with the star tool also, I click and drag, and then I have my star. So with this also, to increase the number of sides or the points I have around the star, I use my control keys up to increase the number, and then I can use the control key down to decrease it as well. So this I can have up to 3 sides. That's as low as 3 sides, and then you can increase it also here. So once I click and drag inside, now with this also you can hold on the control key, and once I hold on the control key, see when I drag it inside, see what happens. So the holding on the control key can give us a different thing altogether. And then holding on the Alt key also, this is what it does. Right? So I'll go with the control key. Right? So I can just do this to it. Okay. So I can come here also and then clear the outline or the stroke. So I only have this without a stroke. Right. And then the next tool right here is the flare tool. The flare tool, this gives you something like the lens flare. So I can click and drag it. Right. So that's it for the line segment tool, and then the tools under it, and then the rectangle tool, and then the tools under that one also. The next one which we are going to end this lesson with is the brush, the paintbrush tool, and the blue brush tool. With these ones, the paintbrush tool, when selected, you can click and then draw your freeform paths. Right? So once you do it, it comes in a stroke. Right? It gives you a stroke. Once I go from my selection tool, I position my cursor on it, I can see it's a stroke. This is a stroke. That's for the brush tool. So with the brush tool, you can draw a free form stroke. So that's for the brush tool. Now the paint brush tool. Now the next one there is the blue brush tool. So the difference in this is with the paint brush, once you draw, it gives you a stroke. The paint brush gives you a stroke, and then with the blue brush, it gives you a shape or an object. So once I draw, right, I have these two objects in here. Now I go for my selection. So once I select this, this is a stroke, and then this is a shape. So when I select, you see the difference. You see this, right, the outlines in here, and then this also. So let me go for the direct selection tool so that we see what's happening in here. So with this, as you can see that we only have this thin line inside, which is telling us that this object right here, right, which we drew with the paintbrush tool, is a stroke or an outline. And then with this, when selected, you can see that this is a shape, right, and it has anchors. I can click and drag the anchors, and then we see what happens to it. So with the blue brush tool, it gives us a shape, right? And then with the paint brush tool, do I have anchors in here? Once I click and then drag it, you see what happens. It's just a stroke, a single stroke, or a single path. Right? So that's the difference between the paint brush tool and then the blue brush tool. Okay. So this is where we end this lesson. Thank you.